Hello students, today we will be doing Unit 5 Man and Machine, Section 1 The Diamond Maker. The Diamond Maker is a short story written by H.G. Wells. H.G. Wells, he was an English novelist known for his tales of science fiction. So he is a science fiction writer and many of his books have been made into films. His best known works are The Time Machine, The Invisible Man, and The War of the Worlds. Read about a scientist who has devoted years attempting to make artificial diamonds. So today we are going to read about a scientist. Okay, so the protagonist of this story is a scientist who makes many attempts to make artificial diamonds. Okay, artificial diamonds means not made in natural way, right? So I was in Chancery Lane at about 9 in the evening. After a hard day's work, I had a little headache and was not interested either in entertainment or any more work. I decided to move away from the noise and go down to the embankment and rest my eyes and cool my head by watching the multicolored lights upon the river. Through the arches of the Waterloo Bridge, one can watch different colors of light as well as the towers of Westminsters. Now here the speaker, he was in Chancery Lane. So Chancery Lane, children, it is a one-way street in the city of London and the time was 9 in the evening, so you can say late night. And he was very much tired due to work and he had little headache also, and so he was not interested in any more work or entertainment, and so he decided that he should go to an embankment. Embankment is usually a raised structure that is used especially to hold back water or to carry a roadway. Okay, so it prevents a river flooding an area. And here in the book it's given a street along the north bank of River Thames in central London. So, and rest my eyes and cool my head by watching the multicolored lights upon the river. So here he says further that through the arches of the Waterloo Bridge. Now this Waterloo Bridge, it is a road and foot traffic bridge crossing the River Thames in London. Okay, and Westminster, it is a district in central London and it's near to Buckingham Palace and not to River Thames. And somebody comes there and says, a warm night. So that is a good way to start a conversation, no? If you are a stranger, to talk about the weather and all. I turned my head and saw the side of a man who was leaning over the parapet. Parapet, it's a railing around the edge of a bridge. No? So he was leaning over the parapet beside me. He came and just did. It was a sophisticated face. Now he talks about his physical appearance, how the stranger looked. It was a sophisticated face. Sophisticated means looks cultured, stylish, isn't it? Handsome, though tired and pale. But it looked much tired, okay? I looked at him curiously. Would he have anything to tell me? He looked intelligent. Oh, very warm, but not too warm for us here. Miss, though the night was warm, but it was not so warm that one should be out. No, he said, still looking across the water. It is pleasant enough here, just now. It is good, he continued after a pause, to find anything so relaxing as this in London, after one has been worrying about business all day. Now they are on the bridge, isn't it? On the Waterloo Bridge. And he said it is so good because there is not much traffic, because it is late night, 9, okay? And so further he says it's so good to be here. No one forgets all the worries. Then further the stranger says, I don't know what one would do if it were not for such pacific corners. Pacific here means peaceful corners. He spoke with long pauses between the sentences. No, he was not speaking in speed. He wasn't speaking continuously. He was taking long pauses. You stop and you talk, isn't it? Sometimes I doubt if it is of any importance. I feel like throwing away everything, name, wealth, and position, and do some small business. So here we find that the stranger is going on talking to the speaker. He's talking about how bored it is, in a city, and he speaks about the peaceful corner. He speaks about the peaceful places where they can relax. And here he speaks about the futility of name, wealth and position. सो उसे लगता हम इतना ताम झाम कर रहे हैं, क्या वो ज़रूरी है? इसलिए वो कहता है कि मैं इन सब चीज़ों को छोड़ दूंगा, है ना, नेम को, वेल्थ, पोजीशन, और कोई छोटा सा एक काम कर लूंगा. He became silent. I looked at him in astonishment. If ever I saw a man hopelessly poor, it was the man in front of me. He was ragged and he was dirty, unshaven and unkempt. He looked as though he had been left in a dustbin for a week. And he was talking to me of the wearisome worries of a large business. I almost laughed outright. Either he was mad or playing a sorry joke on his own poverty. Here we see that the stranger, now he is quiet, and the speaker, he just looked at him in shock, in astonishment, because he says that if ever he had seen any poor man so hopelessly, then it was the man that was standing in front of him. He was ragged. Ragged means he was in old and torn clothes, and he was dirty, unshaven, haven't been shaved recently, and unkempt, untidy means he looked as though he had, and how he looked as if he had been left in the dustbin for a week. So untidy he looked. And such a person was talking about the wearisome worries of a large business. ना वो ऐसी बातें कर रहा हो जैसे उसकी कितनी सारी परेशानियां हैं, क्योंकि वो एक बहुत बड़ी बिजनेस को चलाता है. And this made the speaker to laugh immediately. Outright means immediately. So यहाँ पर the speaker बोलता है या तो वो खुद का मजाक, अपनी गरीबी का मजाक बना रहा है, या फिर वो पागल है. The disadvantage of being in a high position is that you have to work hard and to have to worry a great deal. But the advantage is that you can help the poor. That gives a lot of satisfaction. So here the speaker says that certainly there are many disadvantages of being in high position because you have to worry a lot and all. But there is one advantage, that if you are in high position, you are able to help the poor, and that gives a lot of satisfaction. And the stranger, he looked at the speaker, and what he said, you won't understand. तुम्हें कुछ समझ में नहीं आएगा. After a moment's silence, he spoke again. Now both of them, they are quiet. And again the stranger, the another fellow, he starts, no doubt it is very strange. You will not believe me even when I tell you. I feel it is quite safe to tell you, and it will be a comfort to tell someone. I really have a big business in hand, a very big business, but there are problems now. The fact is, I make diamonds. So यहाँ पर हम देखते हैं कि अभी स्पीकर बताता है कि not speaker. After a moment's silence, the stranger, he said that no doubt that it may sound strange, no, and that the speaker won't be able to believe in him what he was going to tell, and he felt it quite safe to tell the speaker. He had trust on the speaker, right? And he even thinks that if he tells, he will at least have some comfort. No, when you want to share something, you are unable to share something, you hold something in your heart, then that troubles. So he said that he really had a big business in hand, a very big business, and there were some problems and all. And then he said finally that the fact is that he make diamonds. And then the speaker says, I suppose you are out of work just at present. So the speaker, he said that no, I just assumed that he was out of work, means he was unemployed at present, by seeing his physical appearance. Then again the stranger said that I'm tired of people not believing me. And he said with irritation, he was irritated that the speaker didn't believe that he makes diamond. Then suddenly he unbuttoned his wretched coat and pulled out a little canvas bag. Now he unfastens the button, and then from his torn coat, a worn out coat, he pulled out what, children? A little canvas bag. Now canvas is a kind of you can say a material that is like with which tents are made, sail of the ships are made, like that. And it had a cord around its neck. No? And he opened it and took out a brown pebble. I wonder if you know enough to know what that is. He handed it to me. And he handed that fellow, the stranger, he handed that he took out some brown pebbles and he showed to whom? The speaker. वो brown pebbles कुछ निकालता वो canvas bag से और speaker को दे देता है, और वो सोचता है कि पता नहीं तुम्हें इसके बारे में कुछ मालूम भी है कि नहीं. So here the speaker says, now this is for us to know. A year ago in my free time in London, I had studied for a science degree. So I had a bit of knowledge about physics and mineralogy. No, so the speaker in his free time in London, he had even studied a little bit about physics and mineralogy. Study of the mineral. And this thing looked like, this thing means the brown pebble. जो brown pebbles थे पत्थर के समान दिख रहे थे, है ना, brown पत्थर के समान. They looked like an uncut diamond of the darker type. वो दिखने में uncut diamond means जिससे भी shape नहीं दिया गया है. Okay, वैसे diamond दिख रहे थे. I saw it was too big and had the shape of a regular octahedron. अब वो बोल रहे कि वो जो डायमंड था वो काफ़ी बड़ा साइज में दिख रहा था और उसका शेप ऑक्टाहेड्रन के जैसा था. ऑक्टाहेड्रन मीन्स कंसिस्टिंग ऑफ हाउ मेनी साइड्स, चिल्ड्रन? Yes, 8 sides, okay, or 8 faces. I took out my pen knife and tried to scratch it. No, you see why he tried to scratch those brown pebble, children? The thing is, it is said that diamonds, they are the hardest stone, okay? They are the hardest stone, and so he tried to scratch on the brown pebble, and the speaker says he couldn't do it. I went under the light and tried it on my watch glass. Then he tried to do on his watch glass, and the glass, it got scratched easily. I looked at it with rising curiosity. It certainly is rather like a diamond, but if so, it is a very big diamond. Where did you get it? This is what he asked. Now he was so much curious to know about it. Now he said, it is certainly now he believed that it is like a diamond only, okay? And if it is a very big diamond, where did he get it? And then he said, I made it. Give it back to me.